the birth of your child. What's that like for you? Has it gotten any easier the third time around?
Well, it's refreshing. It's refreshing just to have another seed, and it's a blessing at that. Children is different things to different people, and every single time I look at all my kids, it just gives me more purpose, from Shakira to Sovereign, Chosen, and the newest one. Yeah, I thought I was going to get a name, but I just got to get it cleared through the mom, but I'm extremely happy. I'm at a point in my life where, it's refreshing. I don't have to go into the season, anticipating a phone call. I'm super happy that it happened before the season.
Cam, your reaction to what you saw today with Daryl when he went down?
It's no different than anybody else. Just shocked. I'm extremely optimistic right now, knowing that I hope we are overreacting. You never want to see a player like that go down. Especially, Nostros has done such an exceptional job with battling to get the credit that he has deserved, and for him to get the notoriety this past year and coming into his own this year. You hate to see certain things like that, but I believe that everything will be all right, and I'm hoping everything will be all right, and you see what happens.
Cam, I know you're non-contact, but still kind of good to get out there first day in pads and kind of get into full football mode finally.
Right. I think it's good for everybody. Just a little rusty with just the transformation from having pads and all season not throwing with pads. So that was kind of the difference. But as an offense as a whole, I was extremely pleased with how we responded to not only the heat but the pads and just the tempo throughout the whole day.
Cam, your initial thoughts on Norv Turner and his offense, and how's that going?
He's good. He's okay. He's boogie approved.
Can you tell us what that adjustment has been in terms of what you've had to learn and different things, and what do you expect from the offense?
Well, the thing is different, going from Shula to, obviously Coach Norv. His son does a great job as well. I think the whole staff just in general, and I think the onus has been on him more so than us to take what we've already done good and to expand on it, rather than just ripping the sheets of paper up and, all right, this is my way or the highway type of mentality. He's been extremely, easy to work with under that premise, and knowing that, okay, you guys have done it this way, or you guys have called it this, we just keep calling it that, rather than, you just have, I don't know what to expect, I know he has high football IQ, and, you do as much research as possible, ask as many people about him as possible, but, after that, for you to find out that everything has been as advertised, it's just a good thing to be in.
Cam, you took a break from social media for a while, and now you come back with a vengeance. It's almost like every morning now you're posting something. Why is that?
Number one is for motivation. It's motivational content. That's all it is. And two, it just keeps me on my P's and Q's. The responses that I get via comments, via the DMs, direct messages, has been almost life-changing, to be honest with you. When you get people that you may not ever get to see or talk to, this is their only chance to communicate with you, or to express their interests, or tell you certain things that they're going through. And when you read and hear those stories, it's gratifying, knowing that, me just showing a person that I'm up at the times that I'm up, that I'm working as much as I'm working, is inspiring them. And to be honest with you, nothing about me has changed. The only thing is different is that I'm just documenting it. You know what I'm saying? I think last year was when I started implementing, doing extra cardio before actual practice, and nobody too much, knew about it. But now that I'm documenting the things that I'm doing, everybody's like, "Oh, Cam's on this stuff." No, I've been doing it. I just haven't been, I'm not haven't been just showing people. But now that I see that a lot of people are vicariously living through me, and they are looking forward to certain things being said, being done, and it keeps me in line and in check, and that's helpful for me too.
Cam, back on Norv, Ron has reminded us that Chud was doing a lot of the Norv type offenses during his 2 years here. With that in mind, do you think you guys will kind of throw down the field a little bit more with Norv's offense?
That I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you. We just in the second day of practice. I just know that the transition as far as philosophies has almost been, as easy as anyone could expect. Just off, he's super relatable. He's a person who's been around this league and been a lot of egos, a lot of different players, so he knows how to adjust, and that alone, makes my job easy, knowing that, he's a person that you can go to and talk to and say, this is how I feel about certain things, and okay, let's find out how we can implement it. And he's not a guy who's, egotistical to say, no, this play is going to work versus this. If it doesn't work, okay, cool, let's throw it out and, let's find something else. And when you see that, you're kind of drawn back because, he's a person who's been in the league multiple years, and for him to have that type of point of view, it's a winning mentality. So, if he has that mentality, it's only going to be contagious, and that's what we're expecting.
Seems like you're already vibing with the new faces in the receivers room. Obviously, them bringing in Torrey and Jarius, DJ Moore. Ron told us about the text message thanking him for the draft pick. What is your impression of these guys, and how do you create chemistry?
Well, I've known Torrey prior to him being a Panther, but I think his affiliation is what's needed the most. He's obviously the oldest in that group, and just his natural instinct is going to take over and be that vocal, a subtle leader that we need. Obviously, it's Funch's room because he's been in there the longest, but at the same time, not only is Funch's getting better off Torrey, but Torrey's getting better because of Funch's, and that's the type of partnership that you need. As far as Janky Thumb, as I call him, Jay Wright, Sleepy, and DJ Moore, and Default Swag, and Torrey, they've all been a key acquisition for us up until this point, and the coaches have been doing a great job, but not only staying on them, but staying on the quarterbacks as far as keeping everything the same, getting some type of familiarity with yourselves in the process, getting ready to go to practice.
Last year you spoke about noticing the fan base growing and changing right outside the stadium, tailgating as you're driving in, away games, you're pointing up into the stands to see the Roaring Riot. Today you're wearing a Roaring Riot shirt. What are you seeing from the fan base, and how do they continue to grow and change over your career here?
Well, it's just been something exciting to, to kind of witness. I have my own stories, but, this shirt says it all. Change the culture in a sense of, we want to take over or take back the division, and it starts every single day. And if we can do that, we believe in. Strength in numbers. And we have the showings that we've been having in the past couple of years with the travel from your fans. It makes a big difference. And not only that, but playing in Bank of America Stadium. So, from the fans' perspective, we have been hearing the support, and we need more of it.
Cam, David Tepper's part of the change in the culture here now. Your initial thoughts on Tepper and what he brings to this team?
He's been good. He was an open book for us, and I think that's extremely important because it's been a lot of unknowns, for him, so to speak, because we didn't know. When you see the team just sold for what it sold for, and it's like, sheesh, I think I'm up for an upgrade, you know what I'm saying? That's just something to know, and you hope that him coming in is similar to Norv. Is like, what is he going to be like? I hope he isn't as different as or what we've been used to, and from the early meetings, it's been great. I think it's going to be something that we haven't had, and that's not a bad thing, so to speak, on either parties. So I think for us, the excitement is something that we all should get prepared for. I'm excited, knowing that, we have a very lively owner, and he's, first thing he said, he wants to win. So that alone, should get anybody excited.
You go about your time like you're a guy that has enabled to keep the business side out of the fun part of it. Are you having as much fun as you've ever had playing now as you had as a rookie?
I'm always having fun. There never has been a time that has faltered. There's been times that has been jaded a little bit, but that's my life. And when people see me play or anything, it's being positively contagious. And when being around certain people, I'm that for a person. Seeing people smile. A coach said it best the other day. Just going on certain statistics about winning and reading articles about coaches, and one of the coaches said in the article, body language is everything. Nobody wants to be around a person that's slumped over, always being a pest or a pessimist about certain things, certain situations. They want to be around a person that's going to bring light and optimism to every situation. And a person may look at it like, oh, Cam's dancing, oh, Cam's always smiling, oh, Cam's always joking, but it's deeper than that. It's knowing that we're playing in front of 70 plus 90,000 and millions watching all across America and even international. Practices like today, having full pads in the hot sun, finding any and everything to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable and you're doing something that somebody can look at you and say, okay, he's doing it, and I can do it too.
Cam, on that same vein, and this may be a small thing, but having the music throughout practice now.
It's very important. It's very important. I always tell, it's just not music. It's just making practice game-like. And I could care less what music is being played, and I don't want a person to think that I'm biased to that. I'm just saying we try to mimic the games as much as possible, and we can get in somewhat of a monotony or going through certain things every single day and not realizing certain things. There's never a time in the game where it's extremely quiet. And we have some young players that we're going to expect a lot from. But it's also something that you can kind of get from it, because Coach mentioned and said to me yesterday, there's times in the game where you're going to feel flat. There's times of the game where you're going to feel like, certain things just doesn't feel right. But at the same time, you still got to overcome it. And either way, Coach has said it the way he said it. I just prefer the way I want it. Listening to the music, making the time go by a little bit faster, making sure that you can focus not only with jugging and finessing, through your favorite beats or whatever, and still getting the job done.
Cam, you were able to practice all throughout the spring. You're not on a pitch count or anything like you were last year here at camp. Just how much better does that make all of this for you, and how much more prepared do you think you'll be able to be coming through off-season workouts and training camp?
Well, it was very big for me making the proper steps this offseason, knowing that I'm full go. My body feels great. I feel great. And I always got to mention to TD that I even look great. So, I'm in a position now where I'm all smiles, and I pray to God that, this is just a mental scare for us, but this team can stay healthy throughout this whole training camp, and we can get this thing rocking and rolling.
But do you, you talk about playing with like a youthful exuberance, but do you feel yourself getting older now in your seventh year here?
Honestly, I really don't. I really don't. I think it's certain things that I've implemented in my diet, things that I've implemented in just recovery, and even, implemented in things that I see that I need to change that can take me to that next level. I'm far from satisfied of where I am now. I feel great, like I said, and I'm looking to keep, taking full advantage of any opportunity that I get.
Speaking of that, Cam, I know Norv has used the figure 65 to 70% several times in terms of your completion percentage. Do you think that's realistic?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a goal of mine, and it's certainly attainable. Just off of the premise that from watching film and doing certain things is just trusting the process, just trusting certain things and getting out my own head sometimes, because playing quarterback, if your mind is not clear or anything, you can kind of overthink things, and just because I completed this one time, you may not think you can complete it again, but truth be told, you can do it as many times as the defense is giving it to you. And that has to be my mentality. We have a lot of talent on the offensive side and guys that can just take a 2-yard and turn it into 20 yards and hopefully more than that. But it starts with me, and I have to be able to trust those guys and get the ball to them.
Cam, to follow up on Scott's question, what can fans expect to see different from this offense as opposed to last year? Or
Yeah, I can't say that. That's not a realistic question that I can answer right now because it's too premature. I just know that the excitement that you guys that feel right now, because I'm excited to go to practice and be around these guys, is something that we all should look forward to. You got guys like DJ Moore, you got guys like Devin, you got guys like Torrey, guys like Jay Wright. You got hungrier guys behind them that's willing and able to say, listen, this is a battle. This guy's battling that receiver room, and it's just fun to watch. Everybody's coming every single day with the mentality that I have to get better to be able to put myself in the position to help this team win, and that's all you can ask for.
Ryan Khalil
two more guys.
said in the spring that this would be his last season. What has he meant to you? You guys obviously have a strong bond and a strong relationship, and quarterback center. I mean, what has he meant to you over the years?
I'm not going to answer that. You ain't about to bring the whole mojo down. But I love the hell out of Ryan Khalil, and I respect the hell out of him, and just knowing that it's deeper than football.
Cam, your foundation just got a grant for social justice. I think it was announced a couple of days ago. What's your take on the anthem debate, and is there a middle ground you think that would be good for every?
It's still a work in progress. Like I said, it's certain things that's happening in real life outside of football that you just have to go back to your camp and evaluate it. And when I say camp, I mean friends, peers, teammates, family, and just see what the best call to action will be. My foundation allows me to do certain things, to have different outlets to touch and tap into the community in different ways than I would playing football. And that alone has just been extremely helpful over the years, and I look forward to being helpful for years to come.